Third and final race is about to get underway here for the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 B race. Now we have Tim Dawn second, Bryn Griffiths in first, and the two people behind them, they've both been on podium this weekend, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch. So Andy, I'm going to hand it over to you to run us through all of the action.
Thanks, Lindsay. This should be a good one. No more transfer spots to worry about, just a winner's trophy to fight for. Who will get the final one of the weekend? Well, it's Bryn Griffiths and Tim Dawn who share the front row for this, with Ollie Jenkins and Owen Mills next, then Graham Rumsey back in the B group for the final race. Jack Lemmer just missed out on progressing. He's sixth ahead of Alan Hawkins and Ivan Leary, then Christian Dan and Bruce Robinson to round out the top 10. Tom Mallett and Aaron Danapola are next, ahead of Christopher Ginn and Luke Such. Pete Tyler, Barry Liversidge, Richard Bartlett and Jake Stiles on row 9, then row 10 for Ian Whitewick and Adam Tyler. Jonathan Fieldsend and Michael Pearce are just outside the top 20, ahead of Charles Medwin, James Love and the retirement from race 2B, Pete Lancaster. Well, we've had two brilliant races from the B group and lots of entertaining action along the way. What does race 3 have in store for us? Bryn Griffiths and Tim Dawn on the front row of the grid. Keep an eye on Owen Mills. He was a fast starter in the first B race. Not so much this time though. Fairly equal actually amongst the top 3 or 4. We'll get the lead into Rich's corner then. Well, we're on board with Bruce Robinson, who's had a good start. Moves ahead of Ivan Leary. Christian Dan is on the inside there, the blue number 27 car. But it will be Bryn Griffiths, I think, that leads into the first corner, with Oliver Jenkins going second. I reckon it'll be inside of Tim Dawn. Contact between Dan and the number 10 machine going through the first turn there. That was all a bit clumsy. Tom Mallett there getting into the side of Christian Dan. Both of them, I think, survived that more or less unscathed. Griffiths leads the way, side by side for second place, but Tim Dawn, I think, was about to lose that battle for second with Oliver Jenkins. So not a great start for Dawn on this occasion. There's Nick Ledoyen towards the back of the field by the looks of it. Round the left-hander at Palmer's, back down the hill with Bryn Griffiths trying to pull away. Now, is he going to be able to break the toe here? If he can do so early, he might be tough to beat. We've seen him do this before, remember. Battle on for second though, and running wide there was Oliver Jenkins, and Tim Dawn saw the chance, I think, to get up the inside through Agostini. Was he able to make that stick? We'll find out in a moment when we pan around. There goes the 69 car of Barry Liversidge. Tim Dawn is indeed second now, I saw off in the distance, so he did take advantage of the moment there for Oliver Jenkins. And then further back, it's a bit of a free-for-all really, as they turn through Oggies, 3 abreast further back. That's rare that you can go into Oggies 3 abreast and come out the other side in one piece. They have come out the other side in one piece, but in nothing like the same order. And I think there was a bit of paint being traded there between a few cars, but they somehow made it work. This is the fight not to be last, just to give you an idea of how intense the battles are, literally up and down the order. And it doesn't matter whether you're fighting for first or last, you are guaranteed a race in the MX-5 Championship. Quite such great value for money for all of the competitors and the spectators who have turned up, several of them as well, trackside here at Snetterton, to enjoy the racing action on this Mazda weekend. There is the 291 car, that's Luke Such going through, with number 20 behind him. That's Christopher Ginn, who we haven't seen much of this weekend. At the head of the field though, Tim Dawn very much going after Bryn Griffiths here, so Bryn has not yet been able to break the toe. They are starting to drop Ollie Jenkins in the third. Alan Hawkins having a good showing in this one as well, just ahead of Graham Rumsey, who again has not had a brilliant start, having started 5th. He's now, well, he's 6th I suppose, so he hasn't gone back too far, but he hasn't gone forwards either. Be a frustration for him, I'm sure. Tim Dawn though looking to the outside of Bryn Griffiths into turn 1. He's on 2 of the fastest contenders in this race as well, so they're fighting for the class lead as well as the overall win. Tim Dawn, they're not close enough to go up the inside into the hairpin. They are dropping Jenkins now in third, ever so slightly at least. And then there, the fight going on for 4th on back is pretty tight as well, with Owen Mills in the position in which he started, 4th place at the moment, not quite able to go with the leading 3. Out to Palmer's then, top 2 staying latched together. For the time being, I think Tim Dawn is quite content to follow Bryn Griffiths' wheel tracks here, and then maybe debate the race victory later. Bryn starts defending and backing them up. He may be forced to attack. Graham Rumsey up the inside of Alan Hawkins, goes 5th, so he's listening to me clearly, and does now start to make his move to the front. Tim Dawn right at the front of the field, looks up the inside and goes past Bryn Griffiths. That looked like another missed gear to me, coming out of Agostini. We've seen quite a lot of that, and so through there, look, is Tim Dorr. He's ahead now of Bryn Griffiths, and that little hiccup has just held them up a little bit and allowed Jenkins and Mills to close too. So it's 4 cars for the lead almost now as they turn through Oggies. Graham Rumsey there dicing away still with Alan Hawkins. Has been able to keep Hawkins behind. Into the Bentley straight, Hawkins in the tow again, to try and pull alongside. Which way does he go, left or right? Settles with right in the end, which is the outside for Brundle. But actually sometimes if you're going to overtake, that is the best way to do it, because Nelson, the right-hander, is the tighter of the corners, therefore that's the one it's most beneficial to be on the inside line for. How did that one settle itself out? Still the same order, Rumsey ahead of Hawkins. Top 4 though starting to group themselves together here slightly. Tim Dorr now is out in front, looking to try and pull away, but I'm not convinced he's going to be able to. I think Bryn Griffiths will be able to go with him. If nothing else, maybe some cars behind, Jenkins and Mills might be able to as well. Through Murray's, Tim Dorr looking for the victory here then. I think his first of the year this would be, if he can do it. Bryn Griffiths we've seen on the top step of the podium before, and indeed a regular podium finisher in these B races, and he's got a good run across the start-finish line. Was in the slipstream going into Rich's corner, goes to the inside line, that's a brave move, and decisive as well, but has to back out of it right at the last second, because in a tight line like that into Rich's, you're almost always guaranteed to understeer wide, and he hadn't yet got fully alongside. So to avoid contact, Bryn sensibly lets Tim Dorr have the corner and hold on to the lead for now. But that was telling from Bryn Griffiths. He clearly feels that if he does get in front, he could pull away. Alan Hawkins and Jack Lemmer get together. Hawkins gets nerfed out wide, but the next corner's left-hander, so he might get away with it. That was very, very physical for 5th position, that was, I believe, and they are both ahead of Rumsey, aren't they? So Graham Rumsey's lost out a little bit there. Leading quartet single file into Agostini just about, but for 5th place, it is side by side. Lemmer's back up the inside again into the left-hander and Agostini. So he holds on. Hawkins, Rumsey, Leary, Dan, and I think that's Bruce Robinson, the white and orange car at the back of that little group of 6. So some real nice pockets of activity up and down the order in this one, including this 4-way fight for the race lead, because there's no doubt Oliver Jenkins and Owen Mills have caught up again now. So the 4 of them through Oggies, through Williams. Anything, it looks as though it's the white and red car in 3rd, Oliver Jenkins, that looks the racier now, but they're both going to get a tow from the race leader. Griffiths seems to have a really good car in a straight line, the engine working well, the slipstream working well as well. He's in the tow, can he pull alongside again? Yes, potentially, but to the outside line at the complex. Decides that wasn't really a risk worth taking for the 31 car. So out of Nelson. Back along that short straight into the bomb hole. This is part of the original Snetterton circuit. There's going to be a bridge there going into the bomb hole, which is gone now. It's a wide open space, which is great for the spectators. Wherever you stand around the Snetterton circuit, particularly on this 300 circuit, you can see an awful lot of it, be that on the infield or around the outside of the second part of the lap. Great vantage points all around, though, of this high-speed circuit that always does produce lots of slipstreaming action. And speaking of the slipstream, Bryn Griffiths using it to perfect example, gets himself ahead by the line. If that was the last lap, it would have been Bryn Griffiths who took the victory. As it is, I think he'll take the lead anyway into the first corner. Yes, he clears Tim Dorr before they even reach turn 1, so Griffiths again with a really good exit from the final corner, the car running well underneath him. He's into the lead. Tim Dorr has found a way past him once already. Nothing stopping him going for it again. Has to be careful, because this time he does have company from Oliver Jenkins and Owen Mills behind. Those 4 then, exit Wilson hairpin. Bryn Griffiths then back out in front. Can he this time do what he failed to do at the start of the race and break the toe? Well, not right now he can't, because Tim Dorr is still harrying him. Good exit from Palmer's, forces Bryn to the middle of the road. Now that's not a fully defensive line, so there was still a tempting gap on the inside, but in the end, Tim Dorr decided not to use it. Jack Lemmer, by the way, is into 5th, Ivan Leary 6th, Christian Dan 7th, and so Graham Rumsey there in the middle of this group. The white, red and grey car is down to 7th position, unfortunately. Alan Hawkins next. Sorry, 8th position, excuse me, is that for Rumsey. Yes, no, 9th in fact, he's behind Christian Dan, isn't he? Yes, he really has lost some positions, has Graham Rumsey in the last lap or so. It's a shame, he'll be thinking what could have been had he not had that spin when he was fighting for the lead in race 1B. Changed for third, meanwhile. Owen Mills has got himself ahead of Oliver Jenkins. Jenkins in the white car trying to fight back as they come out onto the back straight, but didn't really have the momentum onto the Bentley straight, so Mills has gone back ahead. Jenkins will try, no doubt, to retaliate in the slipstream down the back straight, but it's allowing the top two to pull away now, and Bryn Griffiths in turn is maybe building a bit of a gap over Tim Dorr. Mills hangs on to his newly acquired third place. Changing behind. Not on this occasion, apart from the continuation of this fall down the order for Graham Rumsey. I wonder if there's an issue with that car, because this is not the sort of speed that we've seen from him earlier in the weekend. It's a problem. It's intermittent though, isn't it? Because he's still, well, at that part of the circuit, but then Robinson able to back onto his boot lid as they turn through Coram. So convinced all is well, but Graham possibly just feeling the effects of 3 full-on races now. Remember, he got through into the A group as well for race number 2. Quite do enough to stay in there, ended up getting demoted again, which is why he's back in the B group for this final race of the weekend. Road, meanwhile, it was side by side for third place again. I noticed that Ollie Jenkins and Owen Mills went toe-to-toe into the first corner. There, making a move to the outside as well. Just how close it is though. Way through the pack, this is brilliant to see. There's Jake Styles though, not so brilliant to see him that far down the order again. Things just not going to plan. There's a car on the grass in front of him though. Carl Scatter. Whoops, it's all kicking off in front of them as well. That was Luke Such going around the outside, but the car that went off I think was Christopher Ginn, the white, green and 20 car. White, green and yellow I suppose, which fends them all off for now. Number 78 next up is Richard Bartlett. And then safely through, but that was slightly dicey there. Jake Stiles just hasn't ever really been able to rebound from that penalty, has he? Trying to get up the inside of Nick Ladoyan in the number 60 car. Avail though at Agostini. Meanwhile, back inside the top 10, Graham Rumsey just about inside the top 10 still, trying to find a way past Christian and Dan, which he will do because Dan's on the grass. Mazda MX-5s don't make brilliant rallycross cars, and that's why there's 2 positions there as well, because Bruce Robinson was able to go through as well. It's a tricky corner, Oggies, because it's very tight on the apex, then opens out, so it's tempting to mash the throttle and let the car run out to the edge of the road, but it keeps on turning right for a deceptively long time. It's easy then to end up getting a wheel on the dirt, and when you do, the track keeps going right and your car won't turn right anymore, so you end up going 4 wheels on the grass more times than not. Stars losing a place, looks having to defend heavily to the inside there. The car immediately in front of him. It's Richard Bartlett. Just thinking about attacking down the straight. Stiles to do so. Through Corn again, not really taking opportunities. Stiles sliding around though, isn't he? He's pushing the car hard, but doesn't seem to be going anywhere with it, which is odd. Doesn't seem particularly happy with the way it's working, but then Bartlett had an even bigger moment in front of him, and in gathering it up, loses all of his momentum, and so Stiles will be able to get back ahead of him down the straight. That was a fairly easy move, made easier by the mistake of the car in front of him. The final third then of the race, and Suits there going through, and the car in front of him is off wide again. So that could open up the door maybe to have a go into the Wilson hairpin. Oh, and that definitely opens up the door. That, I think, is Tom Mallett, isn't it? Yes, it is, the number 10 car. Luke couldn't quite complete the manoeuvre there. It's weird, you can run very, very wide at the Wilson hairpin, but then that means that you actually get to straighten up steering and get on the throttle more quickly. And that sometimes can mean that you come off the corner like a rocket and actually end up hanging on to the place into Palmer's. Exactly what happened there to Mallett. Mallett with a bit of damage after that first corner contact. Oh, Luke Suits now gets mugged. In fact, they both do. That was a brilliant move there by Aaron Danapola, who again is coming from a lot further down the order than he started. So Aaron's start's not necessarily all that strong, but he made a brilliant double overtake there. Meanwhile, back with our podium place battle, and Ollie Jenkins and Owen Mills back together. And Jenkins is back in front now, so Jenkins was down to 4th last time we checked in on these two. He's back ahead now, so Owen Mills drops off the podium. See if the top 2 are not a country mile ahead, but it is still Griffiths ahead of Tim Dorr, and they're sort of equidistantly spaced out now, these top 4, so unless anyone can really bridge the gap to the car in front, the top 4 positions may be fairly well set. So probably just what these drivers needed was a fairly calm race to end their weekend, because it's been quite entertaining so far. Tim Dorr's not completely given up yet though. Toe there as he comes across the start finish line, just picking up a whiff of that slipstream. Then it's Jack Lemmer 5th, Ivan Leary 6th, Ivan Hawkins 7th, Ray Rumsey 8th, Robinson 9th, and Christian Dan down to 10th after that grassy moment that he had. So I'm sure we're trying to regroup before the end of the race. He's not far behind, sort of back in the 5th place really, so he can get gains from all places. So too could Owen Mills. If he can get past Ollie Jenkins, he may still have a shot at chasing down the top 2, but obviously they're tantalisingly close, but not really close enough to get a toe from the top 2, and that is worth so much here at Snetterton. If you can get a slipstream, it benefits you hugely. You can overcome quite a deficit in pace sometimes just by sitting in that slipstream. As soon as you lose it though, back then to running your true speed and you're not necessarily able to keep the cars in front of you. Emma locking up there into Agostini. Now could that open the door maybe for Ivan Leary on the exit of the corner. Ivan's going to try it. He's up the inside, and the next corner's left-hander at Hamilton as well. So Ivan Leary, I think, is about to go into 5th position here after a bit of a mistake there for Lemmer. They're still wheel to wheel in the background though, and I think actually Lemmer hung on there on the outside. So that will stay the same order then for 5th position. Allow the top 4 to further pull away now as the battling behind intensifies. 3/4 of the way through this final race of the weekend now then for the Mazda MX-5 Championship, race 3B. And there's still life in it yet. Look, they're almost 3 abreast behind now, almost 4 abreast. Look at that, brilliant stuff. They are 4 abreast into the braking zone. And Graham Rumsey trying to go up the inside, locks up, almost gets into the side of Jack Lemmer. And they have to be careful here not to get involved in any contact. Alan Hawkins comes out on top in 5th in the end. Lemmer down to 6th. Leary finds himself 7th, despite, I think, instigating all of that at the top of the Bentley Straight. Graham Rumsey still can't make any progress. He's at the back of this group queue now. Brilliant stuff though, 4 abreast down the pack straight, and that really is one of the most iconic shots of the weekend, I think, from what has been a very entertaining weekend for the Mazda MX-5s, both in the A and the B races. Track limits warnings being handed out, by the way. We believe Graham Rumsey is being warned for exceeding track limits, so to add insult to injury, not only is his pace not there in this race, but he's now maybe overdriving the car a bit, trying to get some speed out of it, and is exceeding track limits, so he may be receiving a time penalty if he keeps doing that. That's still to go as well in this one, so it's to keep in mind to track limits, and that does play on a driver's mind, most definitely, when they see that sign. Sometimes those battling with them can use that to their advantage and try and force them into making a mistake, or maybe put them in a situation where they don't want to make a mistake and run wide again, and then maybe you'll be able to get past them a bit more easily. Jenkins and Owen Mills continuing to debate this 3rd place, but they are now definitely dropping back from the top 2. Tim Dorr maybe just under a second away from the race leader. And this fight for 3rd, and Owen Mills carrying a lot of speed there into Agostini. A bit of a tail slide as he turned in before he scrubbed off quite enough speed. So, got to it nicely actually, good car control there from Owen. Does he make this move though? Does he have the speed to make the move, or is he just benefiting from that slipstream to stay with Ollie Jenkins without actually being able to overtake him? He'll be hoping that's not the case. He'd look to get himself a podium towards Owen Mills to go with the 2nd place that he had in race 1B. But Ollie Jenkins is not going to be easy to overtake either. He did beat Ollie though in that 1st race, didn't he? He was 2nd and Ollie was 3rd. So Mills knows he can do this. It's just not easy to get past a car that's so evenly matched to yours, performance-wise. All these cars carefully regulated, of course, by the organisers to make sure there is no advantage to any one team or car. We're into a very strict set of regulations, so in theory, the forward should be near identical. That's what makes the racing as close as it always is. Just at the front of the field, right the way down it as well. Griffiths, though, just starting to make a bit of a liar of me now, isn't he? Because he's just breaking clear of Tim Dorr a little bit now. In Mazda MX-5 terms, anything that's more than a sort of half a second advantage is deemed reasonably comfortable. And his margin at the moment over Tim Dorr is probably verging on the full second at the moment. On to the final lap of the day we go. The real battle is going to be the one for third, because Owen Mills is trying desperately to get himself alongside Oliver Jenkins and might just have done it into riches. That will be outside line. Griffiths, though, not particularly concerned with what's going on behind him. He's just enjoying my Sunday afternoon drive now to a victory here. Second of the year in the B grid. A regular frontrunner in these B races, but he'd love to become a more regular feature on the A grid. The driver actually quite enjoy finding themselves down on the front of the B grid, because they know they've got a race win and a podium finish to fight for. As we made the point in race 2, that sounds an awful lot more impressive than saying finishing 5th transfer to the A group and then finish 27th. This is a race win. Maybe the B group, but it's still a win. There's still a trophy, there's still a bottle of champagne with your name on it. Griffiths looks as though he might be about to take that, and I thought I heard a screech of tyres. That was Owen Mills, I think, throwing the kitchen sink at Oliver Jenkins. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pay off, and he ends up running a bit wide. And that was a good save again from Owen. We've seen a couple of those from him today, but unfortunately, he's probably now rather scuppered his chances of taking that third place, because he's dropped too far back now, I think, to get a decent slipstream down the Bentley Straight, which is where the race leaders are now. Bryn Griffiths going up through the gears for the final time down the Bentley Straight. Now less than half a lap away from the victory. Race 3B here for the MX-5 Championship. Tim Dorr has pushed him all the way and will get his first podium of the weekend. It's not quite going to be the win that he's so far been eluded by. Pushing hard there, right to the flag. Look, Tim in the yellow and green car. Indeed, further back, Oliver Jenkins has now definitely got away from Owen Mills. So the top 4 are set, and it looks as though Alan Hawkins has got a bit of a margin now of nearly a second over Jack Lemmer for 5th as well. So the top 5 or 6 spots pretty settled now as we go into the final couple of corners. It's been a brilliant drive this from Bryn Griffiths. Had to race hard with Tim Dorr in the early stages. Tim got past him at one point, but Bryn wasted no time at all in retaliating, retook the race lead, and will come now across the start-finish line to see the checkered flag and win race 3B for the Mazda MX-5 Championship at Snetterton. A great drive that was from Bryn. Tim Dorr is second, third goes the way of Oliver Jenkins, and a somewhat lowly 4th in the end for Owen Mills, having tried absolutely everything to find a way past, but to no avail. 5th position goes the way of Alan Hawkins, 6th Jack Lemmer, 7th Ivan Leary, 8th Bruce Robinson, with Christian Dan and Nick Ledoyen rounding out the top 10. Luke Such had a good drive, by the way, 11th place for him, one of his best finishes of the year, ahead of Tom Mallet, Jake Stiles, Aaron DeNapola and Pete Tyler to round out the top 15. If you're wondering where Graham Rumsey is, by the way, well, he was disqualified. He was given a track limits penalty and then disqualified for another matter as well, so a day to forget for Graham.
That was a very well-deserved last run.
Well, you know, I got a very good start, and then unfortunately I missed a gear. I've been having trouble with the gears all weekend. It's very difficult. It's very hot. The sweat is in my eyes, but you know, I try hard. Fortunately, I can get the lead back. I just about keep the gap. It's very, very difficult.
Tim, that was one hell of a race. Please talk me through it.
Well, I was just aiming for a good start. It wasn't too bad. The Bryn got me. Fortunately, he missed a gear, let me get past, but he was just too quick in the end. He needed a bit more sweat in his eyes, I think.
So, firstly, congratulations. That was a fantastic race, and you're getting a bit of a name behind you for being on this podium.
Yeah, it's a good weekend. It's first time here at Snetterton. So first time was qualifying, driving the track. So yeah, it's pretty chuffed with the result. These two left me behind, so it was a fight for third between me and Owen. And yeah, he overtook me a few times, but I managed to get on.